Change is sweeping across the financial services industry in the Middle East. There is growing recognition that the convergence of social media, e-commerce, and financial technology will fundamentally transform the industry. There is much jostling among leading cities in the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, member states to lead the change and to vie to be the region's key node in the international network of financial innovation and financial technology hubs such as London, Silicon Valley, Singapore, Hong Kong. Dubai International Financial Center launched FinTech Hive at DIFC, which it claims to be the region's first FinTech accelerator. This was followed closely by the announcement by Abu Dhabi Global Market of its cooperation agreement with the Monetary Authority of Singapore to nurture FinTech startups in the two cities. While Riyadh and Doha are also understood to be mulling similar moves. More recently, the Central Bank of Bahrain announced a number of regulatory measures aimed at giving a boost to FinTech startups, to set up base in the country, and to create a conducive ecosystem for them to grow and export into the Gulf region, especially with the large, lucrative Saudi market just next door. The Asian banker spoke to a number of key stakeholders from the central bank, the Economic Development Board, FinTech players, banks, and financial institutions to weigh the potential of Manama and Bahrain becoming a leading FinTech hub in the region, to understand the strategy behind the ambition and the opportunities it possesses and the challenges that it has to overcome.
We at the central bank understand the disruption nature of FinTech to business model, to jobs, but we have made a conscious decision to adopt it. The pace of innovation is not reversible. So the only choice we have is how well we prepare ourselves for the disruption.
We have a clear plan in the country to achieve this. It's part of our overall economic strategy, the need for GCC governments to promote innovation and entrepreneurship through a startup system, supporting a startup ecosystem.
The challenge is bringing the regulatory frameworks up to speed quick enough so that the organisations that are coming into the market are properly licensed and properly regulated and operating within the compliance frameworks that the regulators within this region require.
And in a certain sense, the key step has been taken by developing a clear vision for what FinTech in Bahrain should be all about.
The announcement is a big announcement, and I think it's at the right time. There's a big transformation in the landscape, be it worldwide or regionally.
In GDP terms, this peninsula has become a significant player in the global economy. Of course, Bahrain specifically can serve as a gateway to the broader Middle East or the Arab world market, if you like, which in population terms as well is now a significant part of the global economy, a significant market in its own right.
Business symbol for anyone who wants to start business. I mean, regardless of what kind of business you do, what kind of product you sell, or even where are you, you should be able to do business globally. So enabling people to do global business everywhere. We are in an era where demand is really more required from businesses to give them what they need in their forms and their conditions.
In the MENA region, the FinTech revolution is still in its infancy. There's still a lack of consumer confidence. There's issues of scale, there's issues of regulatory compliance. There's also matters that are complicated by the ownership structure of many of the major incumbents in the sector, where there is a large government shareholding. But the opportunity is undoubtedly there. 86% of adults in the MENA region don't have a bank. 86%. Half of existing bank customers are interested in new digital services. SME lending stands at half of the global average, with limited channels to access capital at this stage. And the e-commerce industry in the Arab world is forecast to grow from 7 billion in 2015 to 20 billion by 2020. That's why Amazon.com followed suit. That's why we're going to see international players begin to look at this region more closely.
I think the biggest difference that I see, having been in the region for over 10 years now, is in the Bahraini workforce. What's possibly lacking is subject matter expertise, but we find that we've got good raw material to work with, and by having a small number of subject matter experts to lead them and bring them on.
I think small countries nowadays is really the best place to start and go global. I think that the term of we should start in a bigger country for bigger opportunities is really not the case anymore.
Obviously this hub idea is something that people talk about a lot these days, and often with the very misleading notion that somehow this is a winner-takes-all game. This is by its nature an international, almost a transnational industry. Connectivity is a critical success factor, and Bahrain has been working on building these bridges to various other jurisdictions.
What we're trying to do in Bahrain is learn from what's happened in London, learn from what's happened in Hong Kong. We're connecting them with the innovators, with the entrepreneurs around the world, and we think that will enable us to get where it perhaps took London or Hong Kong 3 or 4 years. It's great that there's so much activity in fintech happening across the region. It's not just Bahrain where the opportunity lies, it's right across the GCC, it's right across the Middle East, it's right across North Africa. And let's not forget here that Bahrain is a small economy of 1.4 million. So we need neighbouring economies to embrace innovation as well, because they're the very markets that startups here are going to scale up into. So we want to see the region explode, but what we want to see Bahrain take hold of is a leadership role within that space.
Really focus and position itself globally as a fintech hub in relation to Islamic finance or around financial inclusion in the broader region. Or perhaps more on the digital wealth side, because there's a lot of asset management or private banking and offshore banking that used to be here.
The banks are right to have concerns. Financial industry is one of the most regulated industries in the world. Compliance will continue to be important, security will continue to be important. There's been, without question, a realisation from the banks and the financial institution over the last year that they have to embrace innovation in order to survive. They have to disrupt themselves almost.
The industry is not yet ready for the fintech because this is a very early stage, particularly in the Arabian Peninsula and the Gulf countries. We have started to realize that unless and until we adapt to the changing environment, the traditional banks will be the banks or the animals in the Jurassic era.
It's not a question of whether you are ready or not, it's when are you going to be ready.
There is a need for innovation, and I believe there is a real opportunity for Bahrain to take the lead in driving that innovation in the region.
The central bank in Bahrain understands the deep transformational impact that technology and shifting consumer behavior have on the economy and financial services industry, and is taking meaningful and tangible steps to bring the sector in step with global developments. It is taking a leadership role because it understands the risks of being left behind.